Okay. So did anyone see anything? What did you see? Tell me what they saw. You tell me what you saw.
I saw a white shadow effect, but also like a haze around the top up in the sky.
Anyone else see something like that?
Well, I saw sections of blue. You know, not everywhere, but there seems to be some. Well, the tree I was looking at, it sort of said to have blue in between, you know, the light bits, and then, you know, it sort of wasn't all exactly the same.
So you saw a space, then you saw something. See something drifting down into the tree? No. Anything else? Anything else at all?
Yeah, like sort of sparkly, sort of light or something. Difficult.
Did anyone see anything else sort of like that? Sort of something like that was sort of moving? You did, Aidan, did you?
Yeah.
Alright, now let me talk again about prana. How important prana is as the life force of the universe. That tree was accepting prana. And you can see prana if you relax your eyes and look into the atmosphere and just gaze, and all of a sudden you'll see these darting little globules sort of. Now when it's a nice day, which, sorry, today isn't, but if it had been a nice day, they would have been darting really quickly. But it's a dull day, so they also look dull and they're very slow. They don't dart around as much. Now you know yourself, if it's a nice warm day, you're full and you're energetic, the hormones are sprouting out, you're all feeling really good, and it's all sections go. If it's raining and overcast, you feel like you want to snuggle up, just pack the hormones away and ship them off somewhere. All you want to do is read a book, sit in front of a fire and not be disturbed. Is that right? You just want your peace and quiet. That's how the whole world works. And so that is how we are also fed. We are fed not only through the pranic energy that we breathe in, we're also fed mainly through the top of the head here and through all these chakras. That's what we call the universal prana comes into us. And that is our universal life force, it's our connection to the universal soul. So now, what happens is that these chakras are moving around in a circle. Can anyone tell me how they would move around? If we're so connected to nature that we're connected to this pranic energy coming into us, moving in here, it's being manufactured into all sorts of energy and sent everywhere where it needs to go. And to do that, we need the power and rotation of our chakras. Let's pretend that they're all firing on all cylinders. How would they move? How would they, if they've got their wheel, they will turn? How?
One channel going down and one coming up, and they alternate. So one side is going up and the other down. And
No, coming in. They move around in a circle. Now, you will know that if you are born in the southern hemisphere, you are slightly different to if you're born in the northern hemisphere. I remember my children are born in the northern hemisphere. So I went along to the good doctor, a European doctor, and said that my son was sick, and the doctor said he needed to have his blood thickened. Well, I don't think he needs his blood thickened. He's got blood. It's like all of us, you know. What's the matter with him? So I'll give my blood. He said, oh no, you won't. Your blood's too thin, you're no good. I said, oh, maybe it's the arrogance of the species or something that's telling me this. But he went on to tell me about people born in the southern hemisphere who have thinner blood than northern hemisphere people, because over the years they have had to adapt to warmer climates, so they need their blood thinner. So my eldest boy, who had been born here and taken to Europe as a very tiny baby, was born with the thin blood, and once they had thickened it up with his father's, you know, we always like to think that we were the better ones, but anyway, things up with, he became well again and he was fine. So think about that. So if we're different from the northern hemisphere Do you think our chakras work just a little bit differently? Now, do you think if that's the case and we're so in tune to nature, do you think that our water would go down the plug hole the same way as in Europe, say in the northern hemisphere? That's right. Back to front. Exactly right. It's exactly right. Remember when I used to bring my kids here on holiday, they had this, the middle one was always afraid that it was going to drop off because it was down the bottom. They'd be really paranoid and they would not let me pull the plug out of the bath until they all got out and out of the room because the water was going a funny way and that made sure that they were going to drop off. I don't know where they got that from, but anyway. Now, you read in books here that your chakras move in an anti-clockwise direction. That is because these books are written in the northern hemisphere. We, on the other hand, our chakras move in a clockwise way because it moves in the same way as the cyclones, the water running down the sink, all these sort of things are totally different. So we've got to change the perception. If we've been studying with someone who's been studying out of books from the northern hemisphere, then we've got to start thinking again that we are different here. And I think that's got a lot to do with when we go to Europe, we feel for longer time tired. And it takes us a longer time to, well it does me, to sort of get with it and to get the breath right and the whole lot because the chakra has to actually, it's out of tune and has to sort of start going the other way. But when we get home, we're much quicker better than we were when we were going. And here we should be the other way around because when we arrive home, we should be much tighter. Is that right? Now, these chakras are very important because they don't lie. Well, if you lie, that might have a bit of change in your aura, but your chakras will stay the same. And the chakras reflect where the soul is. Remember we had the soul and we had, the root soul and all this? These chakras react that way. Now the chakras have a front and a back. So all this front part that you see here is the emotional level of your soul. And all the back of it is where it is. How strong is its will? How strong is its determination, the steadfastness? These things and attributes of our personality that are not emotional are in the back. Now, yogis tell us that we actually can only evolve on this state of consciousness to here. Can't see that. Okay. To here, the solar plexus. They tell us that only to here. So what do we have here? We have here these chakras are the low chakras, the tamasic chakras coming up to, still tamasic here. I don't think because you think your life force is in this chakra, the Maladara chakra, that you've got it done. You're still a bit in the tamasic range. And then you come up in the Rajas range, and then you go to the Sattva range, okay? Now here, we have this part here is all for the physical experience. These will change, move around. We've got to get them all going right. And these correspond, which we'll learn in our last seminar, these correspond to the states of the astral, where we have come from and where we will return, except if we get ourselves a little bit up. Now, you operate on certain chakras because that's where you are and that's your vibration. So you can operate on the Patala, which is murder and malice. So there's been people who are murderers who think they've done a really good thing. Well, was only 10. I mean, I didn't kill the 11 and 12. I mean, really, I'm a really good guy. I just got to get to know me. Right? This is where his chakra is. This is where he's operating. And this is where his kundalini is. it's mainly here and here. So this is where we would say here's where the Kundalini is. Well, here's mainly situated down here. And as we look, as we go up, we see that absence of consciousness, selfishness, prolonged mental confusion, jealousy and revenge. Now, who hasn't been jealous and wants a bit of revenge? You're looking concerned there. You've never been jealous and wanted revenge.
No,
I
no,
see that.
go ahead.
No, just
How many times? Or we have, our chakras here are radiating
Raging anger, and who of us haven't been really, really angry without thinking what we're doing, just gone whoop, into that. So at that time, we were all our focus was on this. Our Kundalini and our energies were all focused in that area. Now to bring yourself back again took a bit of time, didn't it? Let me tell you, the more you go on this path, the more you let yourself down, it's going to take a bit longer to get up. Because it's easier to go up than it is if you go down. You go really down. I could hear some really stories about gurus who've gone down, which is terrible. And fear and lust. Now when we're in meditation, are we afraid? Why are you afraid? There's no reason to be afraid of meditation. Lust? Do we really want something we don't need? Do we really want Bill's wife or Mabel's house? No, we didn't. But if we desire it too much in lust, because lust is wanting something somebody else has got, we are going to just be coming down here in this area. But then we come to the Muladhara. Muladhara is where, what karma brought us to the Muladhara? Do you read?
I don't know.
Actions begun.
Oh, okay.
The actions begun. You don't need to say the Sanskrit word, but actions begun. Brought us to the Muladhara chakra. Perhaps conditioning brought us right down. But karma brought that conditioning to bring you right down, because you needed it to get up. Now, I know that I've met people who've been, well, let me tell you a story. My great uncle was in hospital, and he was 90-something. And he was born and bred in Richmond. He lived Richmond all his life, right? He even had his own school in the local Richmond pub, because that's where Harry sat. Nobody sat there. So when Harry come, Harry sat. We know our pub family. And he was in the hospital, so I said to Mum, look, he's old and he's sick, so we'll go and visit him. So he was in a home down in Richmond and in Coffin Street. So Mum and I went and we saw him, and he was having a fight with somebody else who he told us was a spirit. And he'd known him all his life and he was sick to death. And so these two old men were still fighting all this time. I think goodness gracious me. And then come his son-in, my cousin, who is he's in politics and he's quite a fellow. And my uncle looked at him and said, where's the beer? Oh. And he said, sorry Dad, I'll go and get it. So he had to go out and come back, and he bought two, big bottles of full-strength beer. Was my uncle's nightly treat. What he got otherwise I don't know, but that was from that son. He had 5 of them. And we were talking about the criminal element amongst children in the western suburbs, like we're mainly on the Broadmeadows, not to mention any names, but the Broadmeadows area. And we were discussing it. Well, my uncle was drinking beer and arguing with this fellow, and Mum was sort of reminiscing about I don't know what. And probably wishing she could have had it too as well. But Ian said to me, Bones, it's amazing. From all that you read and hear that goes on in this world today, you and I should be mass murderers. And I said, there's something to think about there. And he said, look at you. You're doing whatever you do, the hocus pocus stuff. And he said, I'm doing what I'm doing in the politics. And neither one of us have really come out of that sort of vibration, and it is interesting, isn't it? So think about it. You were born here, but you are mainly down here, and you think, oh, I was conditioned when I was young, you know. My father's a cook and I'm a cook too, so, you know, it's the way we live, it's the way we go. You're born to get out of it. That's your karma. You can't blame anybody else. I can't say, oh, look, I'm an alcoholic because, you know, my parents were or something like that. I have to get myself out of it, and I've got to say, no, this was my challenge. I don't need that. I don't belong there. I belong somewhere else. And so then I work through my conditioning as a good yogi and come up to where I think I should be. Now, in this life and in every consequent life, you cannot go further than here. Because it is said that the solar plexus houses the physical mind. Now, if you've ever known a fighter or boxer to be punched in this area, they have a concussion of the body. Just like concussion, but it's the body that goes into shock. So that proves on a scientific level as well as a yogic level that that is the highest chakra that you can go to in this lifetime. Now people keep telling me, no, but my crown chakra's open. Oh yeah, ours is always open, so. These chakras of the heart, the throat, between the eyes and here are always open. But they are not mature. They cannot be mature or even become mature until all of these foundations are solid. Everything has to be completed. Now, in a little while, we're going to have a workshop, so you're going to check each other's chakras, just the chakras at this point in time. You know, I want to tell you that this is the bridge. The bridge is the heart chakra. Now, if you've ever had a broken heart, people die of a broken heart. So if you say it takes 9 months to die of a broken heart, which is really interesting because I've talked again about my family, but my cousin died of lupus. So I went over to the house and I started to help my aunt a little bit. She scared me as a kid, but I thought I'm brave now. I'll go and help her out. So I made her an apron and I was able then to take her to the hospital and all that. And I took her to the doctors and she said, the doctor said, oh, how are you going? And she said, I've got the death rattle. Well, what thing to say? Oh, God. Which I wasn't here. And she did have the death rattle. And within 9 months to the day of her daughter's death, she died. Now we go back in our minds thinking, could this be a group karma inside a group? Inside a group that's a family group karma? Is there another little cell of group karma there? My uncle died exactly 9 months to the day from his wife dying. Now, they never had a good word to say to each other the whole life. I don't know why they were so clinging together to die at that point in time. But that's very interesting, isn't it? So one of the other of the other. They could not walk outside the vibration they were in. I remember leaving for India and I went to visit my uncle in the Heidelberg Reef Hat, and he said, I'm looking, do you think I'll make my 70th birthday? Well, yes, you'll make the 70th birthday for Jack, it's okay. Then he looked at me again and I thought, and you won't make your 70th birthday for Jack. And he said, don't go away. You always go to India. Don't go to India anymore. Stay here. And I said, no, because this is my life. That's the way I live my life. And so I must go to India because it's part of who I am. And as I walked out the room, he was looking at me and I turned back and gave him a hug. And I thanked him for everything that he's done for me over my life and for what he'd done for my mother, because I think he was a very, very good man. And I was standing on top of on the ashram roof a little while later, and my uncle brushed past. He had just died, and that was quite interesting. But here comes again the 9 months, and it was exactly 9. Just amazing. So the heart is So they all died of broken hearts because they were so entrenched with their vibration, they all left together. The heart chakra is what we call the bridge. If we, in our journey, if we can move across the love and across the bridge, we can get up into the higher chakras. And once we do, of course, we reincarnate then astrally. We don't reincarnate back here anymore. So we're going to have a look later on at the heart chakra and at various other chakras. So now I'd like to show you what happens. In each of these chakras, whichever one is necessary, there comes, the pranic energy comes in. Now I was speaking to the doctors about this, and it's, I used to have a really big long stick here, so I hit everyone with. Where is the coin? We hit it.
I know.
Go to the car somewhere.
We had a ruler up there for you.
I've got the ruler.
Sorry.
And when we hit it.
I know that. Now let's have a look here at the chakra up the top here. That's the chakra. We'll put it downwards, but it's going internally. Now, in the, what we call that gross prana will come in. It's not manufactured, it's just coming in. And it will go exactly where it's meant to go. So it goes into, say, a chakra. It's, the vibration is changed, it's energetic vibration, and it goes into what we call the nadis. And the nadis are energy channels within the body. And there are 72,000 of them. So you can just imagine that there's plenty of room for that to move. And then it is reprocessed, energetically processed, and it goes into the nervous system, which is why at the moment it might be a little bit fragile, okay? Because it's changing. From the nervous system, it goes into the endocrine glands. And you've got quite a few endocrine glands there, and I think it's in your little book as well. It all tells you colours and all the rest of it. And from there, it goes into the blood. Now, if there's something wrong here, or maybe just here, the blood will become impure. Now, if the blood becomes impure, it will actually, the energy then go back, and this chakra will begin to not function properly. Or if it's not functioning properly, all this won't function properly. So if our chakras are functioning really, really well, and we're really on the ball, then our whole system will be balanced and will be operating. Now what can put that out? One little raging attack of anger, or one little attack of lust. Or, have you ever heard yourself when someone cuts you off and right, oh my God, you thought of that? It was only me that thinks that. Okay, so there you're coming down here to murder another country. You're not the least bit care what he comes from. My daughter has a good thing. She says, "Don't worry, Mother, he'll be born an ant in his next life and I'll probably tread on him." So we do operate on all of these, don't we? Think about it. Now colour. A lot of people tell me that the colours are different, the colours are wrong. So the colours I give you are not wrong. The colours I give you are, these are templates of those. So these are a dark greyish colour here. And they have sometimes reflect a little bit of the colour of the corresponding chakra. Mostly they're dark and cloudy. This bottom one is red. Then we have orange. Then we have your meal colour. And what colour do we have here today? We got a heart. Green. And what colour do we have here, Jackie? Blue. And what colour do we have here? Do you want to know that one? Right. And what colour do we have here? White. That's true. But I was teaching in a hospital 2 years ago, and I was looking at this doctor woman walk past me. She had such a beautiful chakra opening. Her crown chakra was a beautiful purple colour. And the closest I could ever get, of course, is something like this. This was the colour. Because this is the colour of someone who is doing their Dharma absolutely, and her Dharma was healing, and she was a doctor, so it was about this far off her head. It was just so beautiful. I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was a bit weird. But so it's not always white. It depends. If you're a teacher, it's white. But I've never seen it on. It's just normally, it's just sort of a very dull colour. Now, that is not the aura. That are the chakras. So we're going to just form into little groups again, and we're just going to be able to feel those chakras. Not the aura, just the chakras. Would you like to do that? Okay. So what I want, listen now, what I want you to do with an emery board, you can even break it in half, or if you want to share them around, but please don't do yours with yours and then give it to somebody else to do, because that's wrong. Break it in half. It doesn't really matter. If you can't, you just rub your hands up and down if you don't have one. What you have to do is just stop that. See?
Where's Daddy? Get Daddy.
So what I want you to do is just twirl the tips of your finger here, just that sort of soft part of your finger. Just twirl it a little bit, just get it so it's a bit sensitive and tender. Okay? Just a little bit. And then we're all going down to the ANZ Bank. Put your hand here and just feel the different vibrations. It will give you an idea of what your chakras will feel like. Okay? Hopefully, anyway. So, once we go down, just think, oh yeah, that's a different colour, that, and that's different feeling to that, and that's a feeling, and let me just know. So this group, ready? Go up and just run your hand along. Not the fingernail. And you don't need to put your hand on it. You can just put your hand a little way away, because you won't be touching anyone.
No one. So rough skin.
Like you're ready for surgery.
I know, that's how I feel.
Which is one and one.
Huh?
One and.
Stand up. I want you to stand up. Anyway, I'll get you all now. I'll pick you. All right, Rukmini, you stand up in that group. What's your name? No, I can't. Karen. Oh, yep. You stand up in that group. Linda, isn't it? Stand up in that group. And you can stand up in this group. Now what you're going to do is you're going to examine this person, and you are going to tell me what is wrong or what is different with them, and only with the chakras. So don't go off doing all sorts of fancy stuff. I want to know if the chakras are balanced. I want to know if each chakra is in tune, and I want you to tell me if there is any difference and where it is. Okay? Well, I mean, this is hands-on stuff. Let's get moving. Get them in the middle.
Front and back? Or just the
Front and back. So what you do maybe is each person has a few seconds with them, writes down the notes, and then you can discuss it afterwards. How that sound? All right? Each person has a check, and then sits down and writes writes down what they think, and then when you've all done it, you can get back and have a little discussion on it. You want to come here, some of you? Only chakras, not auras.
Did you feel it?
The basic colours are already chapter up.
Have your discussion. Okay, Pushpa, tell me what happened in your group.
We conferred about what we thought we felt or felt, and there's some commonality that that two people felt it was cool around the heart and warm around cool around the neck and warmer around the heart. And Maya and I both felt something around the Muladhara, but we didn't know really what we felt or what we didn't interpret it yet.
Mm-hmm. So when it was around the throat, were the front and back of that throat the same width?
No, the front was much, I got so much more impression from the front than the back. But that was true for the whole back. For me, it felt much more closed in the front. That makes sense. Okay.
So what they felt is that this chakra was not working as well, and therefore down here, this chakra works on these some of the endocrine glands. So therefore, if this chakra is a little bit upset, then down here it will be a bit upset too, because it comes to the around here the endocrine glands and all the other the gut and they're around that way here. And if you have a look, I think at the throat chakra, you'll find that it has to do with the alimentary canal and also the voice. Is that right? No, it's not over there. It's got it somewhere here.
Frontal vocal lung, elementary canal.
Okay, so you were seeing something down here in the alimentary canal isn't right. And most likely that's not balanced. It's not balanced. So make that down, that's all done, so we come back and show you how to balance it. Okay. Now from this group, what happened? Can you tell me what happened or what they were talking about in this group? What do you think, Gav?
Three of us shared when the other people felt that the front was much stronger than the back generally.
That's because you are operating on your emotional levels all the time, and you are quite easily swayed with things that you should do. Sometimes other people dominate you a bit much, and that's not good for you, so you have to stop them dominating you. Okay? Be nice about it, but try to be your own leader. Okay? So that's my advice, and that's why you see, because her emotional side was much stronger. The weaker side was her will and her steadfastness and who she really is, and it's a little bit weak. I was right, wasn't I? Yes, well, think about it. Okay, in this area here, tell me what you felt with Karen. Nobody knows? Are all the chakras all right?
No, I felt an imbalance in that the heart was stronger at the back, but the base was stronger in the front, I felt. But we haven't had time to talk.
No.
That's what I felt.
The knees were cold. Knees, calves were very cold, and the back was not as strong as the front.
Solar plexus?
Solar plexus, it seemed like a vortex drawing in, not pushing out.
Okay, so your energies are not great at the moment. So you remember that, because I won't remember that in a minute, and I'll come back and show you, as everybody else, how to balance them very, very easily. Right? And how about this group? How did you all go? How was she?
Warm bowls, but I found her back chakras to be very warm, very hot, and not as strong as the front. But then as we came down, we found the base chakra to be very active, very hot. Both sides very active, very strong, spinning in the right direction, the whole bit. But I thought that might be her jumper actually helping her in that respect. In a base chakra with a jumper.
That's an interesting point there, because quite often the colour you wear is the colour you need. And the colours that we wear are very much in tune with our chakras. You know, if you're wearing the colour black, you want to draw inside. You don't want anyone to know who you are and what you are on the inside. That's it. Close down. Every time I went for an exam, you know, I was doing my accounting and that, I would wear all black. Keep it all in. Only I wrote down to keep getting it out. That was it. I was a total black woman. So, you understand?
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense today because I'm feeling so subconscious about what's going on with me.
Exactly. And you wanted to just rev yourself up and give yourself a little bit more of a lift today, so you've got your red on, and you do that a lot because of your job. Don't you? Yeah. So that's where it's come in. And
And the other ladies found the legs were very cold.
Legs cold.
so you're out of balance.
But that could be because she's wearing black too, because her back was closing that all off to us too.
Some of us found her heart chakra a bit cool too. But when Melinda did her heart chakra, she said it was warm, and then Linda said that she was saying a prayer to Ganesh at the time that Melinda was...
Absolutely.
It went really hot.
That is especially excellent. Now who else have I had? Now what happened to the Rukmini here? Who found what with her? How's it going, Joe? What do you think?
A couple of them said that there was quite even energy through here. I actually found it quite warm there as well. And a little bit less will on the back, particularly lower. A little bit more on the front side, down lower in the chakras, and down through here it was quite okay.
Anyone knows I have to leave for you? Just you lot. Okay. What is it? Tell us all about it.
Oh, well, I just felt her asthma chakra was something
there and back to Samata.
And we're saying that it makes sense.
That will do that. We're not onto those energies of the auras here, we're only on the chakras. So you see, without even looking at the aura, see how the chakras will tell us that something is out of balance. Alright, now you people who have got yourselves all out of balance, all stand up. Now we learn a breath in the class, which I always think is a beautiful cleansing breath, and it's not done enough, which I think that all of you should be doing every day. Now remember what I was telling you about, the 30 centimetres below and the 30 centimetres above? Just have a look at this little diagram here again. How are you are, go. There you are. Down to here. Well, these chakras go on. There are more chakras. There's 21 chakras below here that radiate from outside you. And these are the deepest and darkest parts of you that you've overcome. Or will overcome, because they're pretty grotty. So what happens is that we can say that from here around about, say, 30 centimetres is enough. And that takes in all of you. Have you thought about that? That takes in all those lower chakras as well. And when we take it up to 30 centimetres above, that takes us in right above as well. Because there's some people are telling us there's another chakra above the Sahasrara chakra, but that chakra has nothing to do with your life now. Only in higher astral realms has it anything to do with it. Alright then, so here we are. We're going to take the breath all through here, all the way up, the three of you on 3 breaths, and push it back down again. Okay, remember that breath? Really force. You're going to clean out the chakras now. Get it done. Don't wave your hands like me, guys. Clean it up. Again. Again. Couldn't get it out there. He's doing a pretty good job. Okay, now go back and just have a quick feel of those problem areas. And you don't have to go through the whole person again, but I want you one after the other just to have a feel of those problem areas. Were they all okay? Much better? Okay, so why somewhat better, Keith?
It's more balanced front and back, but there's still, it's not, the strength's not there for the energy coming through. There still seems to be an imbalance with the actual energy.
Which chakra?
It's the solar plexus and the knees.
Okay, so stand up there. Now this shows that some of you must be nasty around here because you feel this bit of negative energy. So this is, really good because we find that sometimes when I say that, I'll turn my back on you, when we say that there's templates of templates, one of the best ways of feeling why we're out of sorts is because negative energy will show up. Where? Because it's the body. Where will negative energy show itself if it's the body? In the solar plexus, because it's the mind of the body. If we have negative thoughts, we have them here all the time. Right here, we don't have them actually here, we have them here. So, okay, so she has got this negative energy here, and it's a little bit cool. And then if we go down to the knees, which is a template, she has what? She's proving that she has some negative energy with her. Now what is happening here is if we have a look, there where you are, just walk around too. If we have here is jealousy and revenge, and what we have here is reason, is willpower. So what's happening is that this energy is taking away your willpower. So if it takes away your willpower, that's why the back is not as strong as the front, because there's a sapping of energy going out actually through her knee. Now we don't need to say, look, it could be thoughts, it could be something in the family or something like that. We really don't want to dwell into that. But what we have to do is this breath is the one that will actually clean it up and balance it. All right? So I want you to do the breath another 3 times. Forceful. Up. Forceful. Do the soles of your feet. Again. Now it's let go. You know it's let go because we can feel it without it going on you. But there you are now, it's a bit better. Now I would advise you to do that a couple of times a day. Just till you feel yourself getting better. So have you learnt that now? You're not feeling well? Just feel your knees and your solar plexus. Do you all want to feel your knees and solar plexus? Are you all right? Is that all right? Feel a bit dizzy after the breathing. Yeah, that's right. Right, well, we've got that right. Okay, how do we all feel? We feel that we're all okay or we're not quite? Okay, so we have one here. So because of the breath, stand up. Because even of the breath, here is, this chakra is not operating correctly. It's not operating correctly because she could have had a knock somewhere here. She could have she could have bent and got something a little bit out, which has shot the throat chakra out. Or you might have something you need to say and you can't get it out because this chakra is stopping you. So your discerning faculty is telling you you're not quite sure what it might be. And I remember helping a German lady, and she was a very, very quiet woman, and she never spoke very much. And by the time that I had finished fixing what she had wrong with her, she couldn't shut up. And everyone was really amazed because she went down, she blasted everyone. The whole family got a really dose of everything she'd penned up for years. You know, I'm glad I was out. But, so we have a look at that. And this, you see, is stopping you because this is your chakra of divine love. This is a chakra that is not quite opening, but the emotions of it are wanting to open. And you're somehow hesitant to allow that to open. So you don't actually say what you want to say. And once you start to get that out, you look like Posh Spice, you know. I think you look really gorgeous, don't you? Yeah. So this will help you to get it out if you just let go. Also, if I come and that's not right, then there is a way of actually drawing this. Can you feel that? I'm actually drawing that and bringing it back a little bit into balance more, getting stronger and stronger now. Can we just feel it now? Now. So you see, these are things that you've got to keep your eyes and ears on now because you've got the responsibility of giving you some knowledge. With this knowledge, you work on yourself. No need to run around and, helping everybody else's chakras because that's a little bit silly. But at least you know to help yourself. That's pretty important. Now we go from chakras and we go to auras. No questions about what we've just done?
Just, when you were saying about they alternate, if you're in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, the wheels that go round. If you're born, like I was born in the northern hemisphere, I had adapted to the southern hemisphere. Yeah? Well, not since I came back from England. That probably, as soon as I got there, I felt at home there and settled straight away. But when I came back, it took me weeks to settle in.
Exactly, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your destiny has brought you here, so here you have to stay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you never feel totally comfortable about the whole thing.
No.
You know, I lived 13 years in Europe, then I lived in India and whatever. But I tell you that the only place, when I was in Europe, I always felt unwell. Something not quite right with me. Really forced myself most of the time. I just really couldn't quite get it. Then when I went to India, I had the smell of gum trees and things, so I had an odour that was helping me. You know, with aromatherapy thing, that aroma helped me, and I felt much more at home. But when I come home, and always to Melbourne, I always think, it smells so sweet, and I feel so strong. And I'm thinking, and it's all clear, you know? Everywhere else we seem to go is so polluted.
Yes.
Everyone's saying, oh, it's a pollution. Oh, and I'm saying, oh. but that's how I feel. So I understand how you, no matter how long you've been here, you'll still feel not quite right.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, your children who are born here be fine.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it's always a sacrifice, isn't it? I mean, I think the sacrifice if somebody comes here.
That's what I can't figure out. Like I chose those parents, and those parents migrated here when I was 10.
Yeah.
So they had I chose them obviously to come here.
Yeah.
But it's still got that kind of feeling.
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting when you think about it. All right. So let's move on.
Sorry, another question, Maya.
The spiritual names, Maya. You've got to ask me a question on Maya.
I know, I wouldn't do. So I thought you were going to touch on actually how the chakras, what makes the chakras turn, and we mentioned electromagnetic fields, you know, poles and stuff, and then they actually never told us actually what makes it be.
Because it's a vibration, and it's the level of the vibration. Like it's the level. If you all touched here and you felt different vibrations, didn't you? Yes. Okay, each one is a different vibration. Some you felt you couldn't feel very much. Some you were really strong. You felt all right. This vibration has it has a pull, and it has actually a sound behind it. All right. Now this vibration is what makes the chakras go round, because it will go. Here is, if you went here and you felt this red one, you think, oh, it's pretty sort of heavy. Isn't that heavy? So if you think it's heavy, it's not going to go round very fast, is it? That's pretty basic sort of gross, what we would call gross. And as you go up, well, it's not too bad, and it's not too bad. Look, I've measured it, isn't it? And then you look at these three colours, and they're all part of that base colour, aren't they? Aren't these three colours part of that base colour? Yeah. Okay, so you come up here again. We didn't quite get to indigo here. We didn't quite work it out, but I mean, as far as we can go at the time. Then we come here, but then we come to these two colours are very similar, and this is a combination of all. So that's how, and this will spin much faster than this or this or this, all the way down. And that's how you spin, because it's got a colour. So although you can't see the spin, or you can't see the vibration here, it's like the electricity. It's still, although you don't see it, it still has a power behind it, and that's what that is.
Has it got any, and that's to do with your Shushumna? Nothing to do with that, so it's nothing at all to do with
No, the nadis have to do with the Shushumna, because the three main nadis in the body is the Ida, Pingala, Shushumna. And the Ida has a colour. This is really interesting. It is. So they have a colour because they have a vibration, but a colour is very, very subtle. Does that help? No, don't tell me no. What kind of pink? I'll shut up. It's always salmon pink. Well, it would have to be an iridescent or a translucent sort of a pink, because if you had a pink, then you've got an immature.
That's what I'm thinking.
You've got an immature personality, haven't you? So it's got a mild pink. Now let's hit the electromagnetic field. Okay, so here we have Joe Bloggs again standing there with all his chakras working nicely. And then he has what you call the ether body around him, doesn't he? what came actually first. And the ether body exactly represents our own body. So if I was to walk out of my body here and leave my aura here, you would probably see the ether body, because that is what is seen and that is what is projected. You know, the ghosts, you see the ghost walking, all the rest of it. This is what they see, because the person, every wish that you have comes out as a vibration into this ether body and comes back and gives you whatever you want. So if you want a slim body, think thin, because then this ether body will give you one eventually. If you really think, you really desire hard enough, it will give it to you. It will give you whatever you desire. You know, sometimes, oh yes, that's true, Janine, Mrs. Clark. So what happens is, you know, sometimes you think, oh, if I go to Auntie Maud's, oh, I'm going to get a stomachache because she can't cook. You know? Now, Auntie Maud might have thought, oh, you need more stomachache. So she goes down the street and she buys some food and she serves it. You will get the stomachache because you knew you were going to get a stomachache, and you put that out into the ether, I'm going to get a stomachache, the ether body reacts, you've got one. I'm going to go to so-and-so and I always get a headache then when I go there. I always get a headache, and you know exactly the minute you walk into wherever it was you were going to go, you've got the headache because you asked for the headache. So how about thinking positive? I'm going to be really, really well, healthy, with it, realised, God realised, off I go. There you go. So the ether might give it to you. Or Anne Belinda really didn't want to have her collar spoiled when she had her head chopped off, is known to still walk around. I think she changed the colour to red, didn't she? So that when it was cut off, it didn't get spoiled a bit. And they know, you know, if you go there in England, she still walks around bemoaning the fact. And all this time, so she hasn't left. No, she has left, but her force is still so strong on that one thing that the ether body walks around for.
What happens when you leave your ether body behind?
It should dissolve after a while. It will dissolve after a while. Amazing thing happens. This is my own experience, and this is just the other day. I had been sitting on the couch in South Yarra. May had come to visit me. I said goodbye to Maya, and I walked in and poof, saw myself sitting on the couch still. So interesting, isn't that? I shouldn't have got up to take you out. I would have been much happier if I had been sitting with the couch. So isn't that amazing that, you know, because I have the sight to see that, but all of us maybe, you know, have you ever sat in a chair because Mum sat in it, she's been telling you off, and you sit down in the chair and you go, God, I feel awful, I don't know what's the matter. Mother's vibrational auric field is still within that chair, and that is why you should not have sat in it if you had a problem. Now, I must say that if I go on public transport, I'm really prone to standing because I don't really want to sit where everyone else is sat. Sounds a bit funny, but you can pick up those vibes like you have picked up, and it'll be a negativity that will hang around you. See, it's a vibration. So naturally it hangs on to a vibration. Whatever it is, could be somebody's bad temper or whatever. So that is the first layer, but we had many other layers. This is called the electromagnetic field, actually, for want of other words. So there are many, many layers. Now, where do you think these layers must come from? Where do you think these layers must come from? Yes, that's true. Don't you think they're copies of the chakras? Yeah, there are. They aren't all really strong. Sometimes they're really close to each other. So that if you were to be, you know, holding someone's aura or feeling someone's aura, you don't have to walk around down. They like switched off. They don't walk around, flowing unless their thoughts, as you understood, that you thought of Ganesh and all of a sudden your heart chakra is going really well and everything's fine. So all this will be all around this person. Interesting, isn't it? There is a space between the body and the ether. You saw that small space, didn't you? Now you saw the small space also around the trees when you went outside, didn't you? So you know there's a space, and then there is the body, heaven is the body, and then the pranic energy was coming in. Now that is exactly what's happening to us all the time. It's coming in here, it's coming in here, and as it's processing, perhaps we are happy, and so the whole aura is nice and bright and light. Perhaps we're very sad. It also shows it's very sad because it is a mirror reflection of the energy or the emotions, if you like, also of the soul, how it's going. So if the soul is in distress, it'll come out in your body. If the soul is happy, it'll be glowing happy. If the soul is angry, it will register on the anger, and from here, from your aura, will be flashing colours. It'll start to represent the colour red and all this sort of thing. I had my last really bad temper tantrum quite a while back. And when I have a temper tantrum, I'm able to pick people up and throw them around, believe it or not. Such a temper I have. So that is why I got the name Durga. She's got a really bad temper too. And my husband actually saw that I had a bad temper, not at him, but at some incident, which had actually touched a vulnerable point, which was the survival of my children, and that was hitting the Achilles heel, so to speak, and I lost it. And my husband saw me coming and ran out of the garage and down the road, because he said he wasn't quite sure what would happen, and he was afraid. And what was happening was he could see this red coming out of my eyes and out here, and I was just furious. So the only thing I could find was his mother's present big cabinet on the wall of the garage, bolted on. I picked it off and threw it. So he said, "Oh, I didn't know you had that much strength." Oh, I was a bit annoyed. So you see, that will come out. Now sometimes you say to people, "Oh, your aura is blue, your aura is pink, your aura is this, your aura is that." But it will be based upon how you're feeling, and actually which chakra is the most at the moment. Now, when a person is beginning to die, what happens is it begins to close off. So this aura actually begins to close down. It shrinks. Because what happens is the soul is drawing in now. It's drawing in, not astrally, it's drawing in, and the astral body is being, fed more. So it's becoming stronger, and the physical body is weaker. And when I was a little kid, I used to always, there used to be a hiding every time I did it, but I couldn't stop it. I used to be able to tell when someone in the street was dying because I said that they had the shadow on their face. So the aura actually becomes great and great and smaller and smaller and smaller until actually the death rattle. You've heard of the death rattle, and you know that people start to breathe funny, and then there'll be a rattle inside them that you're not quite sure what it is. This is when the Kundalini begins to leave. So the soul is deciding to pick itself up now and go. So as it does, of course, those of you nurses will know that the feet start turning black, is it right? Yes. And like the nails are sort of greenish colour, so it starts going black here as the soul draws itself away. It's finished with this machine, it doesn't need it anymore, and that's just what it is, a machine. And it's moving away. Now what happens when you die is that the Kundalini will go through all these chakras and it breaks through. Because you have not the knowledge of how to get it out properly. That comes with time and learning. So it actually breaks breaks through everything as it's going. And that's the rattle sound. The nadis are closing down and it breaks, breaks, breaks. And as it goes, it takes things with it. Right? It takes a vivid memory with it, and that vivid memory then is stored again. See, here he is. Here's your soul, okay? And he's drawing in, but he wants the memory stored. Right? Things that didn't get done. Things that should have been done. Like, who was it telling me that the lady thought she was going to die, so she got everything all organised? That's like Kate. And it didn't happen, but at least she got organised. But it's interesting to get everything done. Now, a yogi knows this, and this is going to happen, and is able to organise themselves and lead through the Brahma Nadi. But an ordinary human being is not able to do that. So it keeps going through, rattle through as it goes, breaking, 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 and as it does, the person who's dying will begin to see the other side already. Because they're not seeing it, the soul is now focusing more on the other side. It can't see it so much anymore, but can see its mother, brother that died a little while ago or so, and it's drawn to that way because it doesn't need to stay here anymore. It's ready to go. It's always a good thing to tell people who've got permission to go, and they don't need to worry. So off they'll go. Now what happens is that as it goes, things are released, all the fluids of the body, all the rest of it, and the soul gathers up its energy like this and then leaves. Now this happens, it's been weighed, and I think at the time it got weighed, it was
21 grams.
21 grams. 21 grams. Yeah. And they were able to measure, which I think is an amazing thing. The Russians did it
Every
first,
time,
didn't
21 grams.
they? Yeah. And it's been photographed, of course, because now they've got trillium photography and all sorts of things now with computers. So we know it's a fact, because science again has said yes, that belief is okay, because we've proved it. Now, if on the other hand you are a yogi and you're finished with these lives, you will go out through this Brahma Nadi. Yeah. So you will be in meditation, go through all the chakras, but they won't break. And we'll just go slowly, slowly, nothing less and out. And that's the way it goes. And that's why everything that is happening to you is an experience of the soul. It's not your experience. Poor me, it's all happening to me. No, it's there for a reason. It's happening.
Not just that. Medicine quite often they give morphine when someone's dying, which can actually, we believe, quicken the process. Can that do any damage to someone's experiencing death? Like, can you do any damage to someone from their next?
You're taking it out of their hands, aren't you? A yogi believes that you die the old-fashioned way. You take 3 days, because we have the trilogy again in yoga, and that trilogy is also in your death. So 3 days it will take you to leave the body. On the 3rd day you will die. Interesting, isn't it? And apparently you die right at the ordained time. So if you walk out here, get run over by a truck, don't blame me. It was your ordained time to go. And if you live to your 110 and wish you had gone at 75, it's not my problem. It is your karma. Any more questions?
So is that why you don't, that you encourage to just move on all the time, so that when the Kundalini is leaving, the soul is leaving, it's only really taking the depth of the experience rather than in any other
It actually may not even take the experience. It may only take a certain part of that experience that you didn't fix, or that is incurred karma, good or bad. Some other things are not really necessary. Did you leave the cat out? Or these are not relevant sort of thing. And a lot of things that you think may be relevant are not relevant, because they weren't relevant for this life experience. So I always say, look at the Kriya Mana Karma and fix that up. If you've got a problem, fix it now, because otherwise you'll carry it with you. Very, very interesting to do. And if the problem is fixed to your satisfaction, don't worry about the other one. They'll fix that karma up with somebody else along the way, or it's got the same vibration, not you. You've had it, you've finished it, done to the best of your ability. It may come back actually to you on a thought level, a subtle level, a dream level, but then also if that's finished with it, that's it. That will come back as a dream. You just say no, don't want it. No way. And then you are finished with it. Because you're the one who has to be strong. You're the one who is really got to look after for a certain amount of time, got to look after your soul. Until it's ready and mature enough to take care of itself. And then it will shine forth. And it will be immediately answerable to it, to whatever happens to it. In the moment it's probably having excuses if you've been out of it, especially when you need it. And we've come to the end now of our weekend. And I would like to ask you now, is there any question of any kind that you would like to ask me now? Well, I'm not going to answer them either. What we have for you for completing this course and getting you in one place by 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon is a certificate. Samata Samashti Dharma is a 1, 2 and 3. So it's always better to come because we start off at the beginning and we get deeper and deeper and deeper into what we call the mysteries of yoga, especially the mysteries of Samatha yoga. So we go on to teach you all the, not only now you've got a smattering of the aura and the chakras, please read your books, and next time we will be teaching about the meridians and the meridian system. We'll teach you a certain amount of healing and balancing of those meridians as well. We will teach you about the Ayurvedic method. Ayurveda is in the Rig Veda, and it's a section on medical, how to help yourself, how to look at your body and what we call the doshas, all the parts of our body that need balancing and how to balance them. You can balance them through food, through thought, and through breath. And we will teach you also the Ayurvedic massage. Now we won't be pouring hot oil on anyone's head and in their ears, no. But we will be teaching you how to massage your body daily to keep it nice and flowing and to keep all those energy channels open and flowing, which is very, very important. At the 3rd weekend, we will be going much deeper and we'll be talking about cosmology. Is anyone interested in cosmology at all? Cosmology is very, very interesting when you look at it from a yoga perspective. And so we'll talk about the creation. We will talk about, we'll probably have a video actually about that just to spark your mind a little bit more. What else are we doing that last weekend? We'll talk about the 2nd weekend we do meditation. But the 3rd weekend we also will be looking at advanced yoga nidra, reincarnation, and the kundalini. And they are very, very spectacular. I had an email from one of my students who doesn't live in Australia anymore, but said, Swami, always I'm thinking of your fabulous lecture on cosmology. Isn't that nice? And she thinks about it quite often. And she must have had that a long time ago. She's afraid. But it's very, very interesting to come. Now you've got your forms. We all... Does everybody have a registration form? We've all given you more registration forms, so you fill those in and let us know. And the next one is, when's the next one? July the 10th and the 11th is the next one, so that's a good weekend to put aside. We will be having that one in Geelong, right? So all those people who live in Geelong will be quite happy. And of course we might be able to see if we can have accommodation for people from here at the, what's the name of that place? At the Geelong Conference Centre, which is a lovely venue and not terribly expensive. We don't make these weekends terribly expensive either because we think it's more important that you learn than that we fleece you of money. Of course, your certificate will cost each of you $1,000. Oh, yeah, the stamp as well. So you know the stamp is in there? Yes. So, while they're doing that, we talked only a little bit about colour today. So what I would like, oh by the way, that centre is absolutely beautiful in the Botanical Gardens, and I think it's $35 in what? 40. 50? We have 60? 25. But Keith will book you in, and it's certainly a worthwhile place to stay, so you don't have that ghastly drive up the back. When we want to give out our wonderful meditations for the world, we should stop and think. And we know now that we mustn't do that because we will be interfering with the balance of the universe. Isn't that right? We will be interfering. If we send out now our meditation and try to heal the masses of Iraq or El Salvador or somewhere else, we would be interfering in their karma. So the repercussion would come somehow to us. But there is a way of meditating to these people that does not incur karma. If you read your books, you'll see a little bit about colours, soul colours, inspiration colours, which we haven't had time to go through today. All the colours that make up our world. All these colours that we wear are for really our soul mood, and they are perhaps colours associated with the chakras. If we ever put on a dress or a shirt and thought, I really don't want to wear this, I really feel awful in it, oh, I felt all right yesterday, I feel all right today, that's because our vibration changed, and the vibration of the colour of the garment doesn't do anything for us today. It did yesterday, it doesn't today, it's clashing. So we put a different colour on, then we feel much better. Isn't that right? That's how you should actually dress too. Not always your favourite colour is not always the good colour for you to wear, by the way. But the good colour for meditation is salmon pink. Not quite salmon pink, it's probably one of those, but it's the closest I can get to salmon pink. Salmon pink is a colour if you meditate on it. There's different ways of meditating, you know, on your bones and on your blood group, on your organs, and all of these have their own consciousness and they also have their own vibration and colour. So you could enhance it by breathing colours through these areas as well. But the one to send out to the whole world is salmon pink colour. And what you have to do is breathe in through that Sahasrara chakra. Breathe in here. Breathe in that beautiful colour, salmon pink. Hold it for a few moments and then release it. You release it through your heart chakra. So you're going to breathe in, take it to the heart chakra, hold it for just a second or so, and let it go. This colour, because of its vibration, will go wherever universal love is necessary. So would you like to try that for a few minutes while we're backing away back? So clear your mind of where it should go. Close your eyes. Put your finger together and thumb together. Thumbs up. Be aware of that Sahasrara chakra. Be aware of the colour above it, that is that beautiful salmon pink colour. And very gently draw it in with the breath. Pull it in. Take it to the heart chakra. And as you breathe out, release. Now I'd like to present you with your... You know, could you come and help me? Come on. Get the first one. So now, what will give you are the certificates. If you've only been for one day this weekend, you do not get a certificate, and you will only get a certificate if you attend Samata Samashti Dharma 1, 2, and 3. You cannot get a certificate unless for 2 or 3 unless you do 1. You come along, certainly bring a friend next time for the weekend, but they cannot get a certificate. So these certificates are going to mean a lot more than just saying I was here for a weekend. These are the certificates that to remind you of the journey you're on, the commitment that you are going to make to yourself today. I'm sure if you all want to make yourself today commitment to continue on this journey, whether it is with me or whether it is elsewhere, it's important that you always continue the journey. Okay, Donna Jordan. Next bullet. Marlene Medley. Marlene. Leah Gill. Sophie. Good on you, Sophia. Thank you very much. Keith McKinley. Thank you very much, Keith. Mrs. McKinley. Bernadette Clark. Deborah Hayes. Congratulations. Joe Cannon. Janine, Mrs. Clark. Jackie Hambley, the little English rose. Aidan Hayes, there he is. Leanne Hill. Michelle Davitt. Katrina Breen. Thank you. Karen Montgomery. Thank you. Silver. Okay. Michelle McIntyre. Sandra Perry. Boris. Teresa Facer. Linda Lawrence. Mark Conway. Judy Johanna. Megan Sharkey. Janet, you are ready? Amanda Williams. And Cheryl Wilkins. Now, because we want to move around the countryside, we're going on tour with Samata Samashti Dharma. We're going the first time to Ferntree Gully, and we're going to go the next time to Geelong, and then we're going to go to Prescott in Melbourne to Bernadette Centre. But what I would like you to do is put your hands together for these two. Over all the years that people bring their own food and that's that. And what happens? Everyone brings food, it's a whole great big spread, and we have to thank these two because the spread is always good. Not taking it away from Tulsi Works, not taking it away from you down too long. So now, before we leave, I would like you to all stand up and we'll come into a circle and I'd like us to have a chant. Just before we go, just to remember that this journey that you're going on is vital for your whole existence. And I hope I see you at the next Samata Samashti Dharma. I hope and I wish that all of you will use the knowledge that you've learned to take you closer to your own reality. My job is to make sure that people understand their reality and put their foot on the path to evolution to discover God as I have discovered God. Or your Creator, if that's what you want to call it. But that great power that forces us to come home to it. So let's now join hands and we're going to sing Amazing Grace.